Hey everybody, so today we're going to get into making your first Facebook ad campaign in Facebook Ad Manager. When you first get into the Facebook Ad Manager, you're going to see probably this overview page. So to get to the rest of the Ad Manager, you're going to drag your mouse all the way over to the left and you'll get this rollout menu where it says, campaigns, audiences, and all tools to see the rest. The main ones you're going to be working with today are campaigns and audiences. Before you create your campaigns, however, you're going to want to create some audiences. So we're going to click audiences to get into the audience dashboard. Okay, now that we're in the audience dashboard, you'll see here in the top left corner this blue create audience button. Press that, and first one we want to make is a custom audience. So press custom audience. The source is a website, so select the source as the website, press next. Okay, assuming you have your pixel created and all set up, you should see under source your pixel. Under events, we're going to do all website visitors. We are going to want to change the retention though from 30 days to 90 days. And we'll name this audience very simple, website visitors 90 days. I already have this audience made, but I would press create audience here, but I'm going to close out because, like I said, I already have it made. And so now that's all we need to do there. So the next thing we need to do is go to the left again, to get into the rollout, and press campaigns. And this is going to bring us into the main ad manager. So let's familiarize ourselves first with the ad manager. You'll see 3 tabs along the top here where it says campaigns, ad sets, and ads. Inside a campaign is a bunch of ad sets, and the ad sets are kind of like the budget and the audience. And inside each ad set is a bunch of ads. Usually inside each ad set is the same ads because you're just exchanging the audience. And so, yeah, okay. Other important elements to be aware of is where it says columns here. In this drop-down menu, you'll see it says performance as default. The one you're more interested in here, though, is performance and clicks. So if you select that, you're going to get more information here about the cost per click and the link click-through rate and all that good stuff. Another thing you should be aware of here is in the very top right where it says the date range. And so you can select here, a different date range, and that'll give you the results for that specific date range. So if you have the wrong date range selected, you might find that, you don't, where'd my results go? You should probably change the date range if that's the case, if you're wondering where your results went. Okay, so moving on, the first thing you need to do, let's create an ad campaign. Press this green create button here in the top left, and that's going to create a pop-up. So it says choose a campaign objective. There's 2 main objectives here you should be interested in here. It's leads and also sales. So sales is important if you're doing a VIP system where you're collecting deposits or reservations for your product launch. For instance, like, if somebody puts $1 down to reserve your product and get priority shipping and things like that. This particular client doesn't have a paid VIP system where they're collecting reservations or deposits. So I'm going to select lead and press continue. Okay, now that we have the that's going to create a pop-up of this whole new ad editor dashboard. And so on the right hand side, you'll see here is the settings. And the left hand side here, you'll see where it says new leads campaign, new leads ad set, new leads ad. So this is like a hierarchy tree of selection. Okay. And so the first thing here, let's work on the campaign settings. So we're just going to call this, lead campaign. And these default options are fine. We don't need to change anything. So we're going to move on and click the ad set in this hierarchy tree. And that's going to bring us to the ad set. We're going to name this one leads USA, and then the audience name, which is like, reading in this case. All right, so going down a little bit further, you'll see conversion location. There's two important ones here. Number one, website, and instant forms. So instant forms, well, website sounds what it sounds like. It's like, you send people to a landing page, like an external link. Instant forms, however, is when a user is scrolling on the Facebook feed, they see your advertisement, they click it, and it opens up a pop-up inside of Facebook where they can enter in their email right then and there. Instant forms is useful when you, number one, you don't have like a landing page ready, like you're too early on, but you want to start collecting emails and testing, assets. Number two, and this is important before launching your campaign, is when you have a video trailer ready, use an instant form to run the video trailer as an ad. And what this will do is separate the trailer from the Kickstarter page content. And so you're going to test the effectiveness of your campaign video on its own, because that's all the information that this user will have access to before deciding whether or not they want to sign up. Okay. In this case, this client has a landing page, so we're going to select website and scroll down. Conversion event. We're going to choose event of lead. The rest is okay. Now we'll see budget and schedule. I recommend setting the daily budget to like $15, $20 a day, essentially $5 per ad. So if you have 3 or 4 ad variations, $15, $20 a day. Scrolling down a little bit further, you'll see audience. Okay, so first things first, we're going to exclude. And we're going to exclude website visitors in the last 90 days. Okay, so this way you don't keep serving ads to somebody who already signed up or, decide they weren't interested. Under locations, it's going to first feed in your country that you're in. But we want to target the United States. So I'm going to delete that and press United States. Type that in, select it. The reason why I say United States is because about 80% of people who use Kickstarter are from the United States. And so if they're not in the United States, that means they don't have a Kickstarter account. And if they want to buy your product, then they have to create a Kickstarter account when it comes time to. And they're much less likely to do so. It's another step, another barrier to the sale. So unless your marketing budget exceeds the scope of the United States, or your project is like, very cultural, like, like maybe it speaks only to Australians or something, you're going to want to start in the United States. Okay, scrolling down, age. We know the demographics of Kickstarter is roughly like, 25 to 45 at most. I wouldn't go really above 55. So let's say 49. All right, gender. We always leave gender blank. Don't decide the gender. The reason why is that Facebook is just really good at figuring it out on its own. Even if your product primarily is for women, Facebook will figure out quite quickly that only women click this ad. People are stopping looking at it. So if you do select a gender, though, Facebook is going to raise your costs. The more definitions you apply here, the higher CPM is going to be. So the less you can use and the more you can allow the algorithm to do its work, the better and cheaper your results are going to be. So I recommend just about in any scenario, just leave the gender blank. Just figure out your age, your location. In this case, we know it's going to be United States. And we know generally what the age is going to be. So it's like, these are the basics here. Okay, detailed targeting is the next step. The first thing you want to make sure, as I described, is that they use Kickstarter. Okay? Another things you can add in there, if you're using Indiegogo, you can do Indiegogo. But you want to make sure that they have used Kickstarter before, so that people who sign up have a Kickstarter account. Okay. Then to make additional definitions, we press this define further button here. So press define further. And then for this audience, let's look at our audience, add an audience worksheet. So if we scroll down to the audience worksheet section of this, I have here romantic fantasy. Okay. So I'm going to type in romantic fantasy. And then in this instance, I want to press define further again, because I know this works in this case. So it's either board games or manga. Okay. So if I add these in, you can just copy and paste, they'll separate them. So the way this works is it says detailed targeting. It's very logical. Include people who match Kickstarter and must also match romantic fantasy and must also match board games or manga. Okay, so the way this works is, they must like Kickstarter, they must also might like romantic fantasy, and they must like either board games or manga. And so that's how the define further button works. So like you don't want to just stick everything next to Kickstarter, because then it's going to say, well, they have to like Kickstarter or this or that or this, and you're not ensuring that they actually like Kickstarter. So you want to keep Kickstarter on its own, and then press define further to add in your additional things so that you ensure that they like Kickstarter and any of those other things. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if you have any questions about it. Okay, now that we've done all that, we're done on the ad sets. And we're going to go into the ad itself in the hierarchy tree on the left here. Okay, and so we're going to name this one like Leads USA Kickstarter and Reading. And then I'm going to add something to the name where it describes what this ad is about, like what the creative variation is, or the primary text variation that we're doing. So we're going to call this one bullet list. So under identity, select the Facebook page and the Instagram account. With this one, I don't have access to their Instagram, so it's just gonna let that go. That's fine for now. But okay, so under ad setup, nothing really need to change here. I would check off multi-advertiser ads though. That's kind of useless to you. All right, so under ad creative, and this is where it gets interesting. You're gonna add in your image and stuff. So when you press, you press add media, then you can either add an image or a video. I'm gonna press add image. This is the bullet list. Now, normally you could just, click and drag in like your image or whatever, and it'll upload it real quick for you. I already got this stuff preloaded, so I'm just gonna select that, the image I want, press next. Okay, now it says cropping. Okay, so you'll notice that in this bullet list, stuff is like, being cropped off, which sucks. Instead of, I'm gonna press original. Okay, so that's gonna put it back to the original crop. Now for stories and reels, original, that looks really crappy, right? So we're gonna press the replace button down below, and I have a tall image prepared, so I press next. Okay, so now it's great again, right? It's formatted for that. I designed a custom image just for stories and reels. Okay, and thirdly, on the right column, search results, whatever. Okay, this one, I have like another image specifically for that, so press next. And then, it's set to original, so it's not being cropped off. Okay, now we're all done here. Press next. Under optimize, I'd probably turn standard enhancements and stuff off, to be quite frank. And just keep this stuff off, and then press done. Okay. Now, scrolling down a little bit further, you'll see primary text and headline. If we go back into the audience worksheet, I have some stuff prepared. If you don't, here's some templates, primary text templates, headline templates, some creative template ideas. Feel free to browse through all this, and some tips and tricks on how to do stuff. Okay, so I have here in this little thing already set up. All right, so the primary text, let's hook this one up for this one. And then for the headline, we have this hooked in here. Okay. And that's all we need to do there. Call to action button. Okay. So the best ones is generally learn more or sign up. I would just put learn more in most cases. That's like a great safe one to use. And then we put in the website, which is like https synstoria.com. Okay. And that's all there is really to this ad. Okay, so now we have the ad done. Now we're gonna duplicate this ad. Let's make our process really simple here. So I go action menu next to, so this is the ad on the left hierarchy tree. I press the ... I can press quickly duplicate. Okay, and that's gonna create one right here. This one we're gonna call, customization video. Okay, and so now we're gonna remove the image there. We're gonna press add media, add video, and I have like this cool little video here hooked up, and this is all okay. Okay, that's kind of what it is. And then press done. No optimizations. And then I have a different thing here for this one to make it like, make a little bit more sense with what the video context is about. The headline is the same. Okay, we're done there. All right, so now we have our ads set up here. I actually, had more variations for this client, but we discovered that these were the two best ones. So let's stop here for this example. But now we're going to create new audiences, right? Okay, so on the ad set, we can do that same thing. We press the ... menu here on the left, then press quickly duplicate. Okay, and we're going to call this one visual novel. All right. And scroll down here. We're going to change the audience a little bit here. I'm going to delete that and remove that. And so Kickstarter define further and must also match visual novel and Atomic Games. Okay. And that's kind of all we do here. Let's rename it here as well. In the ads, let's rename these ads so that matches. So, boom. Okay. A little trick, by the way. So inside the ad set, when you're defining these audiences, by the way, to save your time in future, you can press save this audience. And that will allow you to like create, chaos and visual novel. So then you can just save this out, and then you can use a saved audience here. See at the top of audiences, new audience, saved audience. You can select the audience here, right? Okay. And so now that this is all set up, okay, basically you review and publish. I'm not going to press that now, but okay, so if I press review, it's going to be like, hey, this is the changes or whatever, but you create, and then you press publish. And that's kind of all there is to it. Important thing I want to touch on is a little bit of the theory of what's going on here. Is, by the way, so you'll see here in the funnel worksheet, I kind of describe it here. Your Facebook ad is going to end up being your Kickstarter project like image. So your Facebook ad image that performed the best, that's going to be your Kickstarter project image. The Kickstarter project title is going to be your Facebook ad headline. And then the primary text on your Facebook ad is going to be your subtitle, your Kickstarter project subtitle. And so you're going to reuse your best stuff on your Kickstarter page as like the main thing. It's going to function the same way when you're browsing Kickstarter and you're browsing through all the projects. All the information they get access to is the image, the headline, and the subtext, and that's what they see on Facebook ad as well. So if you know it works well on Facebook ad, do it on Kickstarter, and it's going to work well. You can have that confidence. Once again, also, with the landing page, reuse that content with the Kickstarter page content. And so you'll see here, in the funnel worksheet that you kind of design it that way, with the headlines and everything. Okay, and so that's kind of all there is to it. I hope you learned a lot, and if you have questions, please reach out to me either in the Discord or via email. You can find that in the launch strategy planner near the top, the contact information. And I hope you have a wonderful day.